try something a little different. I feel like I've been wanting to log myself in like a video format for a while, and I always thought like the most efficient way to do it would be through streaming, and then just recording the stream, and then make videos out of clips and stuff of that. But I realized that streaming doesn't really resonate with I don't want to say with who I am, but more like with what I'm trying to do with creating videos. Like I said, I want it to be a log. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm gonna try to do it this way instead of it being live. Just talking to the camera, and it feels weird right now. It feels like I'm over talking, but you know, it feels more like it's journaling than it is performing. And I guess that's the goal, right? I want to journal. I want to journal. I want to journal how I'm doing, like how I kind of want to like if I keep making videos every day, I can compare myself to yesterday. I can compare myself to last year. Like I don't want it to be in the form of like entertainment wise, honestly. It kind of reminds me of how like in Adventure Time, it's like Simon was like talking to himself through videos, and like sometimes the Ice King would see Simon and remember himself although he went mad. Like I don't know if anybody watched. I don't even know. Like I'm not trying. Like I said, this is not for entertainment. This is for me. So I know what I'm talking about. I don't have to explain shit. But Simon had to wear a crown, right? And then it turned him mad. But he remembers a little piece of himself of who he was before he went mad. When he runs into like journals of him, you know. Lately, I've been seeing summaries of Musashi's work, and it talks about how none of his battles, none of what he learned throughout his life that made him the best swordsman ever would matter if he never wrote, if he never journaled. You know, our existence lives whether we have proof of it or not. But I guess I want a proof of existence. Like I get those proof of existence through like, you know, through love, through heartbreak, my ability to feel, to grieve. That's proof of life right there too, at the end of the day. But I'm seeking for something more like, I know, you know, I know. More animate, I guess, more like objective. I mean, like, I feel very like isolated at the moment. I really don't connect with my friends like that. In terms of not in terms of like I have nothing to relate with them with. Like of course I have something to relate with them with. But I guess I'm more so in the journey of like isolation. I've just been like so protective of my energy. Is because I get in these like flow states when I'm on my own, to where like I'm present and fully aware, but it's always like other people interrupt it, and there's good interruptions sometimes. Like, man, it's good interruption sometimes. You meet someone that you connect with in a deeper level, and sometimes you get to share that awareness and that awareness and that presence with someone, and that's a rare connection to have. That's a rare connection to have. And timing is really everything, because it's everything. Because sometimes you'll get that, but one person isn't ready. I've been learning a lot, I'm really glad I picked up this book. It's called Four Agreements, probably a month and some weeks ago. And I picked it up because I've been seeing it on my algorithm, but I still don't trust TikTok Shop a little bit. But I picked it up at I picked it up at a local bookstore in Berkeley, and I was heading back to the parking lot. I was about to go home, but it was on the lowest level of the parking garage. It's the type of parking garage that goes down to a basement and not up to a building. And I ran into this lady in the elevator. She seen my book and recognized it. She was like, "Oh, I love that book. Have you read the one before it?" And I was like, "There was one before it?" And I just bought this book. I just found out about this book. And she was like, "Oh, no, don't worry. You don't have to read the other one to understand this one. They're more independent books." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she was like, "But if you really like it, you should. I recommend you read the other one." And she told me it's called The Mastery of Love. The Mastery of Love. And I'm not gonna title. I know they said don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a book by its title, but that title really caught me. That name really caught me. It caught me in a way to where I went back to the bookstore and bought it. And I read it first before Four Agreements. I actually have not read Four Agreements still. I finished The Mastery of Love, but I'm going into Dokudo, which means the way of the one who walks alone. Something like that. Don't overly quote me. I'm going back to internet talk. This is why I've been off my phone so much. But yeah, I read The Mastery of Love, and I learned so much from that book. And the reason why I didn't read the Four Agreements after, and I went straight to Dokudo, is because what I learned from The Mastery of Love is that love is ironically a lonely mastery. It really is. A lot of times people don't have the capacity for it, or not everyone has the same definition of what love is. See, a lot of times we love others the way we want to be loved ourselves. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But in that aspect too, what the book taught me is that love is within ourselves. The way we love others is the way we want to be loved. Then why don't we just love ourselves? It'll literally fix everything. Everything, that void, it'll fill that void that's missing within everyone. The reason why everyone searches for love outside of themselves. And then once you find someone else that shares that love for themselves, and I'm not speaking of ego. I'm not speaking of ego. You have to understand. I'm not speaking out of ego. But when you get to share it with someone else who's like that, who gets to this part. Sorry, this cop just passed by. It's crazy how they're supposed to make us feel safe. But I feel the complete opposite when I run into him. But that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, but what was I on about? Yeah, self-love. We love others the way we want to be loved, but why give it to others when we can just give it to ourselves, and it gives us everything we need? Because I get it. I'm still trying to like control my excitement, because this is how I am in my head. This is how my ADHD brain works. And I'm really diagnosed. Like, I'm fully diagnosed with it. Like, it's hard for me sometimes to kind of like make a point, because it's like I seen this interview of Kanye. My bad. I seen this interview of Kanye where he kind of like talks about how like his words are like a symphony, and when he's trying to get a message across, you know, you got the drums here, you got the guitar, you got the bass over there, and it's all working differently, individually, but it's together. It works in conjunction with each other. I get excited, like I really do. I don't know if it's excitement. I just have so much thoughts, and it's hard to catch one. Oh yeah. I don't understand why everybody's in a rush. I could be late to something, and I'll never rush, because it's like I'm already late. like, and then I won't even rush to get somewhere on time. Like, if I leave early, I feel like, in terms of my like physical, my body, my pace is very good. It's my mind. I'm like, I have this concept of like, we are just receivers from the universe, where we receive ideas, and I feel like the type of receiver I am is like, I take a lot. If that makes sense. It does make sense. But love is a lonely mastery. All right, let me get to this, because I really wanna look back at this and remember this. If I ever forget it, I don't think I'm gonna forget it, because it was a shift in perspective. Love is a lonely mastery. It is. It's a lonely mastery. So I read Doka. I'm in the process of reading Dokudo, which is the Way of the Lonely Path, and the first rule is to accept everything just how it is. You know, a lot of times people think Buddhism is just or not Buddhism, but like just the way of like being emotionally regulated. It is just like control, like suppressing yourself and numbing yourself. People get the idea of that's what it is, but it's really not. It's more so like, it's self-control. It's learning to control yourself. It doesn't mean you don't feel, because I feel deeply about everything, and the world will make me feel like I'm less of a man for feeling things deeply, but I don't care. That's the type of person I am. That's the type of person my mom, my sister raised. Like, I'm just like I'm so fortunate to grow up with, like, I see my mom, my sister as a second sister. I mean, my sister as a second mom. Like, I feel deeply, and I don't see that as weak. I don't care what society tells me. That shit is not weak to me. That is my strength, is that I'm able to feel deeply, you know? And when you feel that deeply, when you feel everything when you are so susceptible to the universe's like signals, when you're tapped in with the universe of the library. And again, like, this is not from ego, this is just how I really feel. You have to be able to regulate that. You have to be in control, because you are in control. I tend to forget sometimes. I have these moments where I'm like grasping. I have a grasp of life, and I'm doing everything I want to do. And unconsciously, I'll fall back. But I've gotten so much better. You know, I'm meditating. I'm reading. I'm having like a reawakening. I feel like in this life I've lived 1,000 lives within this life. I'm constantly being born again and dying within this flesh. And I think beyond flesh too, I will continue doing that, you know. But I'm trying to get my spirit right, you know. Sometimes the flesh will make you do things, and you don't understand. I understand for sure. Maybe I'll look back at this video and think you were fucking crazy. But as of right now, who I am right now, this is how I feel. And what I realize though, what I will need, no matter how I feel or what I think now, what I think then, it'll always change, it'll always progress. What I think back then isn't what I think now. What I do know is I need to learn how to have control of self, body, mind, and soul. You know? And I'm thankful for everyone I meet. Everyone I meet teaches me a different lesson. And sometimes I get hung up on goodbyes. You know, sometimes you want things to last forever, but nothing is forever. Nothing is forever, and that's why sometimes the simplest idea is just accept things the way they are. Just accept the way things they are. And a lot of times what I'm starting to find out now is that this makes me so motivated and to be motivated to be more aware, to be more self-aware, to be more present, because just as fast as things come, they can go. And all you really have with that thing, that person, whatever it is that moment. It's that moment. So regret lives in those who aren't present, who aren't aware of the moment. You know? I still grieve a goodbye. Of course I do. You know, just as much as I love comes with pain. But I will never regret anything. I know that. I'll never look back and say, I wish I gave it a chance. I wish I tried. Cause in any time, I gave it all I have. I will never be like, I wasn't strong enough. I will never be like, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. Because I even if I wasn't strong enough for that moment, I gave it all I have, and I live with no regrets to where I have to look back and regret it. So it's like, I'll grieve a good thing. I really will, but no regret will ever live in my heart, because I know I did everything. And that's the type of person I am, is that I know I exhaust every possible option. in 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 a good way or a bad ways, depending on how some people take it. But I fight for things. If I have, if I feel like, man, especially for love, like real love, I'll fight for that. I'll fight for love, but I'll never fight to be chosen. I'll never fight to be chosen. That's for real. But what I've been learning about love is really just like, love is something, is whatever we give meaning to, right? So for example, I have this right here. These are just regular papers, regular pink papers. To you it is, right? Because to you it has no meaning, but to me it's everything. This is like like Jesus said to Peter, this is the rock you shall build my church upon. This is the rock I'm building my church upon. My empire, my creativity, everything. Let me do a different example. Oh, this hoodie. Like this hoodie, I've had this hoodie for so long. I love this hoodie. But to you, this hoodie doesn't mean anything. But it's because I gave it meaning. I gave it the meaning of, like, it has memories it holds for me, like all this and that. I gave it meaning. Once you understand that love is whatever you give meaning to, give. That's a verb. You do that and you control that. Love is something you give meaning to. Then loving becomes a choice. It does. Who you love becomes a choice. You know? And there's so much power in that. There's so much power in that. And I will say the power in that strictly is based on the love you have for yourself. Because at the end of the day, that is your worth, is how much meaning do you give to yourself. like I feel like I've been sounding arrogant this whole video. No, I'm not sounding arrogant. I'm telling you, this comes from no place of ego. I love myself. Like, I am one of the coolest people God ever. Whew, man, I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. But that power that comes from choosing who to give your love to is based strictly on the amount, or not the amount, the self-respect and the self-love and the meaning you give to yourself. And you know what? I see a lot of people who don't love themselves. And I was there too, but so I know it's possible for people to people change. And that's why it's like, man, trauma really is a bitch. But at the end of the day, ain't no better teacher. Sometimes you gotta touch the stove to know it's hot. Like, I'm thankful. But yeah, that was a whole lot of yapping. I'm at the gym now. I'm gonna put in some work and then maybe I'll get back on this video log. But this was I feel like for a first video log, like, this was pretty good. Cause I feel like I journaled everything I pretty much wanted to remember or wanted to key. Sometimes it's not even about remembering, cause it's like, some of the lessons I've learned is so memorable. Is I couldn't forget it if I tried. Oh yeah, one more thing. It's like I found out that love is unconditional. Like real love, I found out that real love is unconditional. When I tried to unlove somebody, but couldn't. Love doesn't go anywhere. So I guess, thanks for the memories, right? Just got out of the gym. Really good work. Best gym best gym session in a minute, honestly. In a good minute, actually. I feel like making that video kind of just made me like, it's like journaling writing, except you're talking to yourself through a camera. It helped me get rid of all the things that's cluttering my mind out. It's literally like how it felt when journaling writing. I do prefer this method though over journaling writing. As much as I love writing, it gets exhausting. And sometimes I just want to get raw emotions out. But I came into the gym with a clear mind and a mission. And it felt so good. I was like, whatever doesn't hurt, I'm going to work out until it hurts. And now my whole body is hurting. I clicked on this camera because I wanted to talk about something. Oh yeah, so every time when you enter the gym, there's vending machines, right? And I came out of my car from the last video, and my stomach growled, and I said I'm hungry. And when I entered the gym, it's like the vending machine's like right in front of you, it stares at you. And I was looking at all the snacks and I was like, and I guess that it helped me clear it helped that I cleared my mind before I went into there. So it's like I came in a mission. But I'm not gonna lie, I just stood at the entrance and looked at the vending machine. I couldn't say it wasn't less than 5 minutes. It had to be more than 5 minutes. A little over, but it couldn't have been less than 5 minutes. Like, I just stared at the vending machine. And it felt like a fork. Like a fork in the road. I'm gonna go skate now, by the way. I'm gonna head to the skate park. It literally felt like a fork in the road. A fork in the road. And what was in front of me is a person whose name is Temptation. Now this person, Temptation, has had control of my body for when I am unaware. This person called Temptation, this parasite called Temptation, is someone that preys on an unconscious, unaware, a not present mind. And what happened was he fucked around and got to see unaware version of me, because I came in that gym with a clear mind. So I looked I looked at it for like, it couldn't have been more 5 minutes, and I seen my favorite snack in there. It's this protein cookie. It's like it's called Complete Cookie. It's like the chocolate chip one. I was just staring at that shit for like a good 5 minutes. Cause I also went grocery shopping this morning, but I just looked at it. I dead ass looked at it, and I was like, no. And it's crazy because hunger is like one of the most primitive things a human can go through. And this is something like was spoken about by Miyamoto, is that like to control your most primal instincts, that's to eat, to sleep, and maybe sex is also one of the more primal. To have control of that is to have control of self. You have to eat. You have to sleep. For you to deny yourself of that is control. Like at that, when I went into the gym, I had the best set. I'm not gonna lie, this is top 2 gym sessions of my entire life. And dude, I've always heard of this thing of how you do one thing is how you do everything. And it couldn't be more true. Yeah, you're just strolling around because that's just a 9 to 5 that's paying your rent. That's not your real passion. You have a business when you get home. But if you treat like that 9 to 5 like it's nothing, you're gonna treat your business like it's nothing. How you do one thing is how you do everything. It's how you do everything. So how do you practice? How do you practice your discipline? How do you practice your self-control? Do the easy things the best way you can. Give your best to the easiest things, and that's like practice. It's lit. That's the only way you get better, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. You know, another thing that reminded me of was that Miyamoto had this philosophy that you do not chase food for its taste. So he would eat things for the benefit of his health. Just to eat. Sometimes he would starve himself too, just because he can, just because he wanted to. That's him testing his free will. It's like him starving himself, fasting. I don't want to say starving himself. I'll say fasting, because starving yourself can go emotionally, spiritually. It doesn't just have to do with food, but fasting. And yeah, wouldn't it have been nice to have that cookie before I worked out? But why? Why did I really need that? 16 grams of protein ain't really shit. I need 150 every 16 grams, and it's 400 calories. But yeah. I had a really good gym session. And I guess the lesson of that whole gym session is that you do your best work with a clear mind. Damn, this dude is he's the greatest swordsman ever. He won 68 battles, no losses, because if he lost, he would have died. He entered each one of those battles with a clear mind. He talked about how he meditated, all this and that, to clear his mind. He came to grip with his death. He talked to himself and said, this is my last day. He said, this is my last day, into every battle. He did not come in there boasting, expecting to win, come out alive. No, he said, this is my last time breathing. When I go to this battle, I'm dying. To clear his mind. of all anything. To do your best work, man. There's lessons in everything, There's lessons in everything. It's crazy. In everything, but that really taught me, like, you do your best work with a clear mind. Man, I've been, as of late, I've been leading with gratitude. In church, not in church, I forgot where I seen it, but someone had said, and I just remember it so clearly. I remember the lesson. I don't remember who said it or what was said, but pretty much it's just to lead with gratitude. Just to lead with gratitude. That comes with anything. Always lead with gratitude, because life is a blessing. A million people don't get to live at all. For better or for worse, they will never experience living. Think about that. 1 million sperms came out of your dad's, and you're the 1 in a million, right? It's this chance right here, for better or for worse. You got to experience death. You got to experience life, for better or for worse. You know? Always lead with gratitude. Man. God gives you what you can handle. Frank Ocean said that. That's so real. God gives you what you can handle. And remember, there's a God above and a God within. Alright. Skate sets was pretty weak. Hurt my ankle really bad. I almost didn't go skating. Because I was so content. I was so satisfied, so content with the gym workout. I was like creating excuses with myself in my mind, talking about how, like, I don't need to skate today. But then I thought about, like, compound interest, and I just told myself, like, look, I'm just gonna I was creating all type of excuses. I was like, yeah, it's 2 a.m, it's sketch outside right now, there's hella sketch people and fiends outside right now. Like, it didn't feel safe, but that's never deterred me before. Like, I have my gun with me. Like, it's never deterred me before. Like, I've always felt safe. But it's like my mind was almost creating these excuses to not skate today. And I told myself, I'm gonna skate every day for a year. And it's only been a month, and I'm already, like, I got my kick flips back. I'm riding so comfortably on my board again. And what skating is really teaching me is, like, it's a consistency thing, because pro skaters talk about it all the time, to where, like, they'll stop skating for 6 years and it's like they're learning how to skate again. And I need to build that compound interest up. Today, I only skated for like 3 minutes. I hit so many tricks though, but it just comes with the consistency. And look, I put up a sweat, and then I left as soon as I got hurt. I did everything I can for that day, for today, with skating. You know what I'm saying? So, Miyamoto talks about how, like, a lot of times we think that this improved us is a huge shift. Like, we completely change our schedule. we completely change our habits, all of that to the extreme. But like I want to start working on my body, for example. I put all these expectations on myself that's like, look, I'm going to go to the gym every day, 2 hours at least. I'm going to do this, do that. But really, all it is, it just starts with, sometimes all it starts with is 5 push-ups. You just do 5 push-ups today. That's 5 more than you did yesterday. Or you do 3 sets. And it compounds, it builds up. Like in the Bible, it talks about a faith of a mustard seed. Keep planting seeds. Just keep planting seeds, And the next harvest will be bountiful depending on how many seeds you keep planting. A mustard seed is microscopic type of seed. You just... It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. We tend to look at things in such a broad perspective, but we gotta open our eyes, widen our view a little bit from like it takes time. It takes time. Give yourself grace, ease up on yourself, you know? That's what I'm learning through skating. I'm learning a lot of things through skating, man. It's the repetition, it's the micro changes, the small changes you have to do just to get a trick right. It doesn't have to be big changes, it could be small changes. Like it's precision. It's precision. And I've never really looked at skating through this sense before. Like I've always comparing it to life, but what Miyamoto said is that like once you see the way in one thing, you'll see it in every aspect of your life. His happened to be sword mastery, but he practiced calligraphy the same way, and then he saw like calligraphy is just like swordsmanship. Every brush stroke is a slash. He would practice the same slash, the same downward slash 100 times. 100 times. Just like how an artist would practice the same brush stroke every single time. So it's wonderful. Like skating is a wonderful art. It is, and now I see it through that lens. I used to see it as like, man, I just loved hanging out with my friends, going outside, skating, have fun, you know, doing bullshit. But now before skating as a child, to me came from here, and now a lot of it is here now. And from here, my bad. And from here, it re-sparks the love in here. It really does. I've been operating in such an aware state, and it's scary sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, like it's not. You know, fear is fear is fake. Fear is not. But the fear can take over your mind to the point where it can become real, because sometimes it'll take control of your actions. And that's something I learned from the Mastery of Love. It's like it's only really 2 emotions that every other emotion leads to, and that's love and fear. Are you living out of love, or are you living out of fear? And I've really realized, like, I've lived in fear for so long, and the best moments of my life, to where I can remember, I've lived off love. But it's like I don't want my default to be a fearful state. Like, fear, yes, it'll come up, but bravery isn't the absence of fear, right? It's the presence of it and still fighting through it, still pushing through fear. That's bravery. And I guess what I'm doing right now is I'm just being brave. being brave and falling in love with myself. You know? But I'm so thankful, man. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for everyone and everything around me, because this is just a beautiful experience, you know? Just a beautiful experience. Life is a beautiful experience. The growth, the hardships, all that, the journey is really like, it's never about the bounty. It's always about, or it's never about the harvest. It's always about the planting. That's life. That's you living, you know? So may our harvest be bountiful.